All right, Josh, man. First and foremost, I really appreciate your time, man. I was told some really good things about you, and I can't wait to chat with you a bit more today. So thanks for coming on the show. Welcome.
Awesome, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me. I'm fired up to be here.
Right on. Me too. I'm fired up to have you. So with that being said, we'll kick it off. Take me through. I usually like to start typically the episodes kind of like talking about and getting a sense of who you are from your journey, like from post-secondary, like your graduating period to now. But I feel for you, we should start a bit earlier. What's a good spot where we could start where you're kind of like your story begins? What would you
I
say?
guess really where my story begins would be essentially when I was first born. It would be
Okay,
where I
let's get
go
into it.
all the way. Let's go all the way to the front. So,
Perfect.
when I was first born, my parents were under the impression from my doctor that I wouldn't be able to walk right away, if not ever. Now, correct me wrong. I have a lot of like the doctor terms I never can remember, but I had very bad scoliosis in my back, and which led to have them having not right away an operation, but they had to do essentially like I guess you could say an operation. So then they had to make sure that things would go well. So if I did walk, I could, but right away they said right when I was born, this kid's not walking. Be lucky to take a couple steps. So
Jeez.
during the delivery process, it was actually very went a lot better than they thought. So then now believe it or not, I'm walking happy this day. I've never had a problem, except the fact now that so my left leg is slightly a little bit longer than my right. So in
Wow.
over the course of a few years, I'm always been like you wouldn't notice it by staring at me,
Yeah.
but sometimes when I walk, you can tell there's a limp. So in time, they knew that I would have to get surgery on something, and of course, it became my foot. So from grade 10 to about grade 12, I noticed a huge side. I could always send you some pictures later
Yeah.
about my bone that expanded, and so I
Wow.
had to get surgery to shave that bone off. And now they put screws in and the bolts, and I'm walking great, a lot better now. But the issue now is that now it's my hip. So it's like because I'm using different bones that I wasn't before.
Yeah.
So now there's new things shifting. So all in all, like essentially throughout my whole life,
Wow.
I've always had constant doctor's appointments to follow up in London, Toronto, and now in Ottawa as well.
Mhm.
And the doctors at Sick Kids Hospital in both London and Toronto have been fantastic. So that's where pretty much my journey began. And again, that became a huge surprise to not only my parents, but also my whole family, where now I'm able to play sports, collegiate sports. And essentially, yeah, it was fantastic. So I'm very honored and
Nice,
thankful.
dude.
I'm
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah, no kidding. How did that affect like playing sports and gradually playing and getting better at things like throughout high school? Like how did that affect that time
Well, when I was in high
and
school,
like
it didn't
fitting
affect
in?
too much. Like fitting in, it was okay because, like, I
Nice.
mean, it was at the time it wasn't as painful. But when I got into grade 9, 10 is when, like I said, with the foot is when I really started to feel it. Some
Yeah.
days I couldn't put on shoes; it was so bad.
Mm.
But in time went on, it was a little better. So right before, I had the honor of playing at College Brook for up in Sudbury for volleyball, where I studied business, and I had such an incredible opportunity to play up there. And so I had a 2-year contract there for my scholarship. And what I ended up doing was we ended up having a meeting with my doctor right before. And he said, listen, if you really want to play ball with those 2 years, do it. And we'll do the surgery right after because
Amazing.
you're not going to want to play after the surgery. So I'm like, all right. So sure enough, fast forward 2 years, we did the playing for 2 years. And then after the surgery, he wasn't kidding. Like I've never played volleyball. Like, and now I've experienced now after that, I've had the honor to coach and I love that. So essentially, it's I'm a big believer things happen for a reason. So
Mm.
I waited it off as long as I could to enjoy my playing, and then now I'm trying to focus on better things and involving trying to help kids do better and essentially live life by coaching.
Nice. So dude, why like tell me why volleyball? How did that
Well,
like why that? Like what happened there?
no, to be completely really, I love basketball as much, but I can't stand running. I've never been a runner or a track star or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
I had to narrow it down. I played a lot of sports when I was a kid. Like I tried everything: soccer, baseball, basketball, volleyball. I couldn't do hockey because my parents were always scared of, if I was getting knocked into the boards, my back would just snap. So hockey was never a no go. Football I enjoyed, but again, too much contact, so we just said forget it. But I just really found a passion for it in grade 5 when I first tried out, and I made
Mm.
it. I just loved getting up and smashing the ball on the floor
Yeah.
every now and then, so that was cool. And then I really narrowed it down as I got older, just basketball and volleyball. So that's pretty much how became a thing.
Nice. So it was just kind of like, yeah, just started enjoying it, and then just was like, yeah, a little less of this, little more of that, and then just that became your sweet sauce. Nice. How'd you go about like, so you got a scholarship, eh, to like go, and you like grew up in Sarnia?
Yeah, I grew up in
Yeah.
Sarnia, Ontario, right across the bridge from Port Huron, Michigan.
Oh wow.
So I had the honor to play in both countries, and
Down
it's
south.
incredible. Yeah, down south, where it's the hottest place almost half the time in Ontario, so that's nice.
Jeez, good for you, man.
Yeah, it's great.
That's exciting. Man, cool. So you got to play in both countries and stuff like that. But I want to know too, like with that time period specifically, is like how did that work? Like how did you get the scholarship? Like how does that process work? Like do you just apply? Did scouts come and see, and then were you able to kind of use that to go
Well,
and
to
get the
start off,
ride? Or
I have to thank my awesome sister. She's a huge supporter of mine. We were like this, my bro, we're essentially best friends. So I got to give a huge shout out to my sister. So she ended up going to college Boreal 7 years before I did.
oh, cool.
And so, because we're both, my parents both decided to put me and my sister into French speaking schools. So we had a second language growing up. So then I decided I really wanted to keep it as well. And so I knew Boreal was my main option. So it turned out they ended up having a volleyball team. And so my sister told me you should totally go check out Boreal, before you get to high school and just get a feel of, the college life. So sure enough, I went up and I got to meet some of the coaches, and it was really cool. We sent them videos. They seemed to enjoy what they saw. And then my high school, they told me throughout my whole high school, film everything, and then send it their way. And I also send it to other schools as well that I applied for. And Boreal
Love
was
it.
probably for the best response, and it ended up being the best decision I made.
Nice. So they were telling your high school was telling you to film your
Uh,
games, film practices. Like I'm curious, like
no,
why'd you
Boreal
oh,
did. Sorry,
Boreal did.
sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah, when I went up to visit, they said just send us everything you can for your whole high school, and that'd be a great head start. So sure enough, I then went to try out one summer. I believe it was the end of grade 11, going
Hmm.
into grade 12 that summer was when I went out to try out, and they really enjoyed what they see. So we kept in contact all year, and before I know it, I became a VPAL.
I love it, dude. That's awesome. And so that's cool that they like that's a good piece of like advice other like student athletes could use too, that you like they could start filming earlier. And it's like, hey, we could show our development, kind of how we grew from this stage to this stage. Like that's interesting.
Well, I can give you for example. One girl I caught this year in the States, Sophia. She was an absolute star, and I recorded a lot of video for her and the entire team.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, she asked me with all those videos if I could do a like one of those montage like
Sure.
highlight thing,
Nice.
and that's going to help her out significantly when she goes to college again, because she will go to eventually probably University of
Yeah.
Michigan or a D1 state for sure. She's got that talent for sure.
Geez, for what sport? Like for
Volleyball.
volleyball? Yeah, no way. Good for her, man. That's
That's awesome.
exciting. Yeah. Wow. Cool. Right on. And that's yeah, that's sweet. That's cool that they like kind of push you guys to do that because nobody ever told me to record anything.
Really?
Really, dude. And that wasn't that long ago. Like you're what, 23?
Yeah, 23, turning
Yeah.
24.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm turning 27 this year. So like that 4 year gap is like I finished, you start. But I'm like, oh, all right, cool. They didn't tell me nothing. And like there was stuff I could record. There was stuff from basketball, from soccer even, and all that stuff that like I could have used, but I didn't know.
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
nowadays it's so hard to record everything because you don't want to be, in trouble with anybody, right? Because if you're always walking around a camera, everything you're gonna think, what
Yeah.
are you doing, right? So
I almost
yeah, it's
feel like
hard.
you need to do it though. Like it's gotta
Yeah,
be, man, that's so important. I never would have thought of that. That's fascinating.
yeah, it's huge. It
Hmm.
definitely helps athletes out nowadays. And sooner or later, with these new headsets that we're gonna be getting, you're gonna be playing with it on. Could you imagine? You record every step you
Dude,
take.
geez. I had a buddy who was talking to me about that literally last night after training, and he was like, we were going through and kind of being able to like put on like he was telling me about the stuff that's coming out. I'm like, man, I don't. We're all gonna be hanging out in the mall. We're gonna be playing volleyball against each other, but you're gonna be in Sarnia. I'm gonna be in like Sudbury or Bangladesh, anywhere, and you could just play each other. It's kind of wild when you think about it.
It's crazy. Technology's going a long
Yeah,
way,
I don't
especially
know
AI.
if I prefer it, but I don't.
I know it's tough. I know. I feel like once you get experience to it, you're never gonna want to give it up. Like I feel like I always said to people when I first played GTA 5 when I was like I don't know, I think when it came out I was 13.
Yeah.
I said how cool would it be if you could just like transform into this game and then this is your fun life. So like people would work their 9 to 5 and
Mhm.
then go live in GTA world from 5 to 10 and then get up and do the same thing every day. And it's so far if you think about
Yeah.
it, we're getting there.
I think it sounds fun, the idea of it, but I think that that puts a whole new spin on escaping reality, right?
Exactly.
and it's kind of scary. It's like, I'm going to be driving down the roads because I won't be one of those people. And I'll be driving down the roads. And like, I mean, if you want to do your thing, right? But I won't be. And I'll be driving down the roads and I'll just be like, everybody's in their house. It's going to be great. But the roads aren't going to be in good shape because nobody's out there to fix them. But
Yeah, true.
I'll just be driving around, ripping around, like, boom. Oh, yeah, nobody's out today. And then it'll be nice because I can go where I got to go, but nobody's working. So,
Yeah, or if you do happen to pass somebody,
yeah.
there's no driver. There's no driver in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they're like lying down in the back. So I'm like, what's going on here? And it's like, well, these
Quick.
cars just find themselves. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, I don't and my buddy sent me like just now too, like a bunch of information videos about it. He's like, oh, there's some good trailers and some videos for the new product. So should be interesting. But yeah, I don't know if you're gonna catch me. I think I'll do it to experience it because
Yeah,
that's kind of just what I want to do. But
sure.
I don't think it can be that much better than like things that I
Like,
could get from living. I just don't
yeah.
don't think it, man. I don't think it's I don't know. What about you? What do you think? Could
I
be
mean,
better
for
or
me,
worse?
I look at it what you can use it for. Like for me,
Mm,
for example, coaching, like technology has been huge, right? So
yeah.
imagine if I was able to give all these kids a headset and we show them all, hey, listen, like see out here, and then it's all 3D cameras now, right? So you can actually like somehow magically change the view to where exactly you want to see it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that in that sense, it's going to be not only easier, but even easier to help kids learn. So like to me, technology's gone great for that. And then
Ooh,
even on the other side now for like health, like for doctors and stuff, like I feel like
yeah.
now it'd be so much easier to figure out what is the issue instead of doing like even for example, my hip I'm going in for in August.
Yeah.
They said, like if this was 5, 10 years ago, we would have thought, holy crap, we're gonna have to give a hip replacement to this kid at like 23 years old. But instead, they said,
Ooh.
oh, with this new ultrasound thing that they have, I forget what it's called. They have the craziest names for stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they said, we can just shave this off and that could save you another 5, 10, 20 years. So, perfect. So let's do that.
Wow. So instead they're like, oh, instead of removing, replacing a part, we're just gonna shave down a foot. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Wow.
crazy.
So I feel like there's just pros and cons to everything. Like, I see what you're
Yeah.
saying about no one living anymore in the world. They're going to get home and just,
Yeah. I don't know. It just makes me nervous for that. But
yeah,
that's all. I could just be looking at it through like a pessimistic lens, at least on those kind of things. Just that could just be the way I see it. I mean, we all get a lot of help with doing things, and there's like so many resources and things that we all have at our disposal to like, make it. But I like what you're saying with the technology, like hey, we can use that to like, dude, buddy was telling me they'll like measure the muscles in your eyes so that when you turn your muscles, it's like shows you a different thing that you could be looking at. And I'm like,
yeah,
whoa. It's like,
it
it
is
might
cool.
just be too much for me to understand at this point. I just haven't done
Yeah,
enough like research into it to kind of fully like feel confident knowing that like somebody's not taking over my mind.
yeah, no, it's true. It's going to be wild, especially if this is coming out now. Imagine in 10 years.
No, that's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. But with that being said, I like that you like put the spin on it with the coaching and stuff like that. So did you what made you decide after having like you played your volleyball and you went through like the college career of it, did you like always know you wanted to coach? Were you trying to coach while you were playing? Like how did you get into like coaching?
Well, it's funny because I remember my parents would tell me when I grew up that, oh, you know what, maybe you'll get into coaching. I said, oh, I don't know if I can do it because I mean, growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher, but
Yeah.
something that didn't work out for me with university. That's not my go-to. But so honestly, it's funny how it panned out because after I graduated and I then went to the surgery and then I got all that done. I went back to my high school because I know a few friends that were graduating that couple of years and we needed the extra pair of hands for volleyball because sometimes coaches are hard to find nowadays, right? So
Oh yeah.
I had the honor of helping out my high school team, and it started clicking and it started finding a lot of passion for it, and I just really started enjoying doing it.
Hmm.
And then and then I clicked in my business side, and I'm like, what if I created my own camps and all that stuff? And that's now became a big thing now here in Sarnia where I'm able to coach, travel, and also do my camps in the summer. So it's really just that finding just you got to find what you love to do, and I found it where I enjoy like pretty much essentially showing kids that there's so much more to life rather than just school. So if you look forward to little things, like for me, it was coaching, right? So I just
Yeah.
looked forward to coaching every day after work. getting the chance to experience with the kids, like, listen, like, volleyball's great, basketball's great, life is going to be great. So it's just it's those little bit of a teaching moments. Like the prime example was COVID. Like, especially here in Canada, as we know, it was the toughest one,
Yeah, it was
where
bad.
we were on and off, and like, and that's not good for these kids, right? Like,
No.
I have to say I'm very thankful the way I was growing up with my parents. It was a little strict, but compared to, like, I see it now where they did it because they did it for a reason. I have such a great family, great parents, great sister. They really raised us to do great things, and seeing the way that now a lot of these other kids are growing up, it's honestly, it's very sad. Like
Yeah.
a lot of different family environments. So it's just that one thing every single day, where whether it's the volleyball after school or basketball after school, and if I am the one who's running that camp or club or team, if I can make it somehow where they want to keep coming back and look forward to it every single day, then to me it's worth it, right? Because they don't want to go back home. They want to be in the gym. They want to be working hard. They want to be working out.
Yeah.
So it's just that, seeing that passion and seeing that essentially joy in their eyes is like incredible, because life's too short. So you want to enjoy every second of it.
I like that. I like that a lot, dude. I think when it comes to like raising kids right now, I've seen a lot of like new parents. I've seen a lot of parents who have like 6, 7 year old kids and stuff like that. And like all just different styles. And it's like based on how they were raised. And like I think the biggest thing is, and I think it's overrated, but I think, or underrated, actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. It's underrated strict parents. Because I think the thing with strict parents, and not even, sorry, not strict parents, but parents that'll discipline correctly and find ways to like use that to motivate and stuff like that, and like not like convolute or like, hey, this is our way of thinking and it's this way. It's no, it's like, hey, we'll give you the space to make your own informed decisions. But with that being said, we'll like find avenues where you could start taking accountability and responsibility for your own decisions. And we'll start that sooner and later, right? And that's the biggest thing that I found is lacking in a lot of younger kids. Is like there's no responsibility or no ownership of like, oh man, like I messed up here and this is how we can fix it. Because the problem is with everything, so especially everything we do, especially as dudes, is like our fault. And not in like a fault, like a blame bad thing. I don't mean to be like oh, it's bad when I say it's our fault, but there's no negative, I'm not putting a negative connotation on it, right? But the thing is like we like it's our life, we have to take responsibility for it, right? It's like, hey, these are the cards you're dealt, there's many ways you can play them,
Yes.
and you can always fold, right? Or you can just learn how to play them better. So you can finally be like, nah, I quit, I'm off the table. Or you can just like understand how the game works a bit more, play the cards you have, and like do as well as you can to like progress forward and see what you're able to make of it with what you were dealt. I think
Yeah,
that's
no, I like
really cool.
that. I
Yeah.
agree. And
Yeah, I think that's really cool that you kind of like understand that and you're able to like, especially as young as you are, and be able to kind of use that to like springboard, be like, you know what? Maybe at the time I wasn't the fan of it, but like the way my parents were really helped me like kind of understand how I got to where I am now and how that really helped that transition. So that's really cool, man. Good for you.
thank you. Yeah, no, it's great.
So what I want to know now, why business? Like why was that a thing you wanted to study? Why was that an interest of yours? How did that kind of come about?
So business for me is the biggest reason is that people are always going to laugh when I say this, and I just use it as more motivation to grind. But since I was about, I want to say like as young as 8, 9, 10 years old, I've always wanted to retire before the age of 30. And people
Wow,
say, well,
ambitious, bro.
yeah, I'm
Ambitious.
hungry for that. Um,
Woo.
so
Okay.
it's like it's funny because like I've always wanted, because people are like, I enjoy work. I've been working at Little Caesar since I was like 10 years old, shaking a sign. And throughout the years, I was like, hey, listen, like, this is what I got to do to make money. I'm thinking, I got to sacrifice so much of my time to do this. And things, half the time, it's things I don't even really enjoy. So then I switched it in my own mind, and I said, well, what if you can find ways to make money that you enjoy doing? So
Hmm.
then it's not really feel like working anymore. You're enjoying it. So
Brilliant.
I'm like, and what if I just grind like crazy between now and the age of 30? And I have all this, say, financial freedom, let's just say,
Yeah.
between 30 and death, let's say. Something, how can we do this? How can we do it? So it's funny, you're also going to laugh now again, where give me the big motivation, the big push to get it done is when I watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Best movie ever. I was like, you know what? This is the life to have. And forget about all the crazy hard drugs. I'm not into that. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
argue. I like drinking a little bit here and there. That's fine.
Yeah, we
But
all do.
but
We all let
you
loose a
know, like,
bit.
So essentially, I was like, hey, how can we do this? So the market, I've been in the stock market since I was like 12. I've been into trading stocks. I've been in my TFSA since essentially I was 13.
Yeah. Wow.
And just growing, growing, growing. And then, learning things from my mom, learning things from my dad, learning things from other, multimillionaires that I've met along the way. It's just been,
Yeah.
it's really here to hear a different story. So now I'm at the point now where I'm like, hey, like real estate was big. I bought my first house at 20, sold it last year during COVID because it was a huge hike. So I'm
Come
like,
on.
what?
Good for you,
Let's
man.
do this. Let's do this. Let's keep growing.
Wow.
And then now I'm putting a lot of that capital into a bunch of different little projects I got right now. So during COVID, during all this, me and my sister created a brand called Take Charge, Be Positive.
Nice.
And so essentially what we wanted to do was drop shipping, but with a purpose. So what we're
Yeah.
doing now is we partnered up with an amazing company called RFG, and they're helping us scale our business to do even better. So now what we're doing is we're rebranding it up a little bit. But when we first started, we were essentially drop shipping 3 or 4 products that could help you like with your everyday life. So for example, our one, we had a great massage ball for athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. And we were putting our brand on it. So it was like people would know, oh, what's that brand? It's that brand should take charge, be positive. That's right, be charged. So essentially the whole point of the brand is to take charge of your own life and be positive about it.
I love
So
it.
that's where we're slowly kicking. So I'm hoping in time where it grows and either me and my sister decide do we want to start something fresh and do we like sell it or like, do we keep going? So essentially the business idea for me is just it's the best way to make passive income. If you can make 3 or 4, 5, 6 ways of passive income streams, why work a 9 to 5 when you can just live off that the rest of your life and travel and help and do things that you enjoy doing?
So I really, first of all, amazing. Like that's crazy. Like that, good for you, man. Like that's fucking awesome. I think there's 20. Yeah, you buy your first house, dude. Right before
Yeah,
the market thing too.
right
It's
before, and
way
I was scared shitless. Like I even like my dad was like,
Yeah,
I
take
think
me
this is
through
a good
that.
buy.
Yeah, let's
Wait,
start.
okay,
Sorry, let's start. Yeah, let's start a bit further back,
okay.
please. Sorry to cut you off. I just
So
want to like
no, you're
start from the
good. No, you're
beginning.
good.
We'll get to what your dad and you were talking about,
So
but
I remember right when I graduated, I had a little bit of chunk to save for either down payment or if I wanted to go away. But again, my mind was just thinking, what can I do to make more money, right?
what was that number roughly? You don't have to share the exact, but like more than this and less than that.
Oh, like right after college?
Yeah, like that number that you said you had, that chunk you had saved for the house,
Okay, right.
for
So
the down
from
payment.
investing and saving and after paying off all the school, which I had no debt after school,
Nice.
I
Good
would say
for
I
you.
had about 15, 20,000.
Nice.
So
Okay.
right
Yeah.
around there, maybe a tad more, but say 15
Yeah.
were on the side.
Good for
So I
you,
knew
man. Wow.
that would be, thank you. And then I knew that would be a good chunk to put down. But see, I hate putting everything down because then what if like, your front door gets broken into or something, right?
Hmm.
So we were house cruising for a while. I'm thinking, man, $100,000, like 150,000. I'm thinking, wow, this is so much money, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, So then I found a good one that I think we ended up getting in at one. They were asking 199. It's funny. It's quite the story. They're asking 199, but the roof needed to be done. The front
Oof.
door needed to be changed. The
So
back door
10
needed to
grand,
be
3
changed.
grand, 3 grand.
The
Yeah.
wiring was all knob and
It's
tube.
another 20 grand.
So
Oh no, outdated,
I'm
eh?
thinking, there's no way. So then
Jeez.
I threw in an offer for fun, and I said, "How about 175? Because it would cost me about 20,000 to do all
Yeah,
this."
roughly.
And he's like, "No, no, 199, 199." I'm like, "All right." So I go back, fast forward 3 months later, the house on the front lawn says reduce the price. So I looked into it, and it was 179.99, and I'm like, "Great!" So I threw in an offer at
Yeah, once
155, and they
let's
accepted.
go. Woo,
So,
let's
so you
go.
know what I mean? It's like
Let's
you got to
go.
be
Play the
patient.
game, dude. You could,
That's right.
you
Play
could.
the
Yo,
game. Be
Stickler, I'll
patient.
play that game. Good for you, man. You saved yourself like 30 grand there.
Exactly. So it was
Jeez, good for you, bro.
so I did the upgrades throughout the last 2 years throughout COVID, and then sadly with COVID, I lost my school job because of now they needed the teachers went back to work, and most of them
Yeah.
went back to work because COVID is over. I believe it is over as well.
Oh, it's over.
And so then I lost that job for a bit. So I was just working currently at my government job that I have, which I'm very, very thankful for. And so that's been covering a little bit. But then, bills keep going up, bills keep going up. And I'm like, man, what can I do? What can I do? I want to save. I don't want to keep spending. So then essentially I ended up selling the place and I got a good profit off of it. And now I've been able to put it into different investments, whether it's stocks, other real estate opportunities as well. And now I'm hopefully building off that. So then by the time I'm hopefully 20, 30, I'm done. And hopefully
That's cool,
when I
man.
retire, we'll get on another call, you and I,
Let's
and tell
do
you
it.
exactly
Let's
how I did.
go.
Well, that's how we'll do it for
Let's
sure.
go. We'll do it in person. I'll fly your ass out or something.
Oh man, I'll be
We'll
flying
do
your ass up, man. You're gonna be famous by then. You're gonna be famous by then. You're
I'm
gonna be
flying
like
you.
doing Drake and stuff by then.
Let's go. Oh, let's go, man. Jeez, that's cool. That's cool. You're right, for damn sure. Oh man,
I'll
good for
fly to
you.
my
That's
place
cool.
in Dubai. That's what I'll do. I'll fly to my new place in
It
Dubai,
would
and
be
we'll do it
Dubai,
there.
eh?
That's
Jeez,
right.
ripping one of your three supercars
That's right.
at least. Fuck,
Uh,
man. But wow, good for you. Did you have somebody co-sign with you? Just because I mean,
yes,
like,
like
I'm
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
smart.
had to,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it was funny because they said to me it's crazy how the world we live in, and I'm sure
Mhm.
one day we'll do a Zoom where we just talk about business and the world it is, because it's absolutely crazy. Where I had 15,000 after for savings afterwards, and they just wouldn't give me a mortgage. They said, "Oh, so you don't have a car payment? No. You don't have to pay off school? No, it's paid off." Thinking, well, like it was just so frustrating. Like it was just
Yeah.
so much steps. Like I'm thinking, like, what do you want, bro?
Should be the
Like,
opposite, right? Like that should be a reason why you give me money is because I don't have
yeah,
debt, but they need to see that you have debt so that you have
it's
proof that you're
mind blowing.
paying. And it's like weird, man.
Yeah. So like I learned so much during that process. So I mean, it's just the world that we live in. So that's the topic for another day for sure.
Yeah, nice. And then yeah, sweet. Right on. Yeah, so that's weird that like just one person's signature can like make or break you having like $250,000 property.
Crazy.
Like, geez, and because I guess it goes with theirs, right? So now it almost puts like
Yeah.
the responsibility on theirs, and it's like they
Correct.
know they don't really do anything,
Yeah,
especially like, man, that's crazy. I've
it
seen. I
is.
think I think that's probably because that's what I've wanted to do. It's just I have to talk to. My issue is I'm like I could do it with my older brother, but I'm like I don't really want to do it with a brother. Whereas like I
Yeah.
want to do it with my dad, but I don't want to put him in a situation like that. But
Yeah, I
like he's
feel
just
that.
older, like he's a bit older, so I'm like I don't. But he could retire off this as
Right.
well, right? So it's like, well,
Tough.
yeah. And like he's got his own situations he's dealing with his building. So I kind of know I'm like, yeah, it's just finding
Yeah.
somebody in my like close knit that I could do that. But that's a me problem for a different time. But yeah, man, that's cool. Good for you. That's wild that like what 30. So it's interesting to me that like you have this drive to do these multiple different things instead of like, are you just that person that you can't just do the one thing or you need these different projects to be doing especially related to business because it could just be easier to put all your eggs into that one basket and like all your folks sorry not eggs but all your focus into this one project and you'll see it do well but are you more like well what if I just do this and this and just stay focused?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The biggest thing is I've learned in life, like I've been trading stocks since I was 13, and I've done that mistake before where you put all your eggs in one
Yeah,
basket and it's the bad, and then you lose like five, six
all of
G's,
it.
and
Jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have days where you know what, sometimes you take a little bit of risk and it's worth it. So you
Mhm.
live and you learn a little bit.
Yeah.
I do believe I do focus all on my one thing. It could do a lot better, but then you're maybe potentially missing out on other opportunities. Like for
Right.
example, like this year I had the honor of coaching volleyball in Port Huron this year. And I got to give a huge shout out to Infinity Volleyball out in St. Clair. It's run
Nice.
by a fantastic girl named Michelle. She not only loves the game, but she has absolutely nothing but skill, and she can coach, and she's just fantastic. So if anyone out here is listening to the Michigan area, go play volleyball at
Go
Infinity
play
Volleyball.
volleyball there.
Freaking awesome. And so just being able that I've learned to deal with a lot this year, coach. There was like a 9 month season. I had a great team, lots of ups and downs, but I was able to learn a lot from it. And while I did that, instead of just focusing on the business, I'm a big believer in meeting people, right? I love meeting new people, love to
Mhm.
hear different stories, like different, atmospheres of what people have gone through and how I can also change my business to do, better things to help people like that, for example. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So just being able to have, keeping busy and doing different things, not only meeting new people, but you're also yourself learning a lot. And that's what I find a lot of people are scared to do nowadays is they're just like, oh, I just kind of want to do this and that's it. I just want to play my video games after work and do nothing else.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
safer.
not gonna go learn, you're not gonna like don't get me wrong, I love my video games like GTA and COD all the way, Warzone all the way, hands down. Uh, but like now I'm at that age where I really want to be able to just I got my goals and I really want to be able to hit them. So it's like, what can I do in order to get what's the best way to do it? Do I
Yeah.
spread out a little bit more? Like if I didn't spread out as much, I wouldn't have met a lot of the kids that I have now from my summer volleyball camps that are coming back again this year for the second consecutive year.
Nice.
So it's like it's being able to, and meet the parents, because that's huge, right? Like you can have the kids respect, but if you don't have the parents respect, then it's like, oh
It's
God.
a different
Let me
thing.
tell you,
Yeah.
I've had some good parents and I've had some bad parents. Let me tell you, over the years, holy cow, it's quite entertaining. So, but no, it's like just that. It's just going out and learning and getting new things. You can't be scared to go out and do things. You just can't, because if you don't, you'll regret it the rest of your life. And I've lived in a world where you don't want to have regrets. You don't.
Yeah. That's fair. You strike me as so our mutual friend Michael, you remind me a lot of him. And I say that because you guys are both old souls.
Yeah.
You guys are young as shit. And you're like the oldest souls I know. It's wild. It's like you guys talk with this gravitas and this
Yeah.
experience behind your words. And I'm like, incredible. It's incredible
Mike
to
is
see.
awesome. I love Mike. When I first met him
Tell
out in
him to.
February last year, he's awesome. Such a great dude.
He's got like a skill set like nobody else where he has an ability to make small talk like so well. He's so good at small talk. And when people are like, oh, how could you be good at small talk? Talk to this fella for a bit and you'll understand. It's like, hey, look at this thing I can relate to. Oh yeah, oh sweet shirt, man. And then like, oh yeah, that shirt, oh, where'd you get? Oh yeah, it's this. Oh yeah. Like, where did you remember that from? But I give you directions to my house and you gotta remember you don't remember what the address is. It's like the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. But with that, and like his networking ability is phenomenal. And so I'm done pumping his tires. So I want to kind of relate that and segue that to you with when it comes to networking and stuff like that. What are some events or what are some business things that you've kind of gone through or events that or conferences that you've been a part of that you're like you've learned a lot from? Like what is one
Um, well,
event maybe
I,
you learned
well,
something?
now that I've been able to partner up with an incredible company called RFG, Revolution to Free Generations,
Mhm.
I've been able to meet a lot of people there that are millionaires and been able to really grow a brand. And were honored to go on a huge trip, and we went to a business trip to Vegas. So it was a whole write off. It was great. And we ended up going to a few business conferences about like not only for like business but motivation and how to keep going, because like people got to realize you're gonna hit a wall sooner or later, right? And
Yeah.
if not multiple walls. But like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna turn around, or you're gonna grab that sledgehammer, you're gonna keep pounding through, right? Like, you got to keep going.
Yeah. Are you gonna
So
fold or
meeting and
what?
exactly, and meeting and hearing different, I guess you can say, stories from other millionaires that's done it, but even harder life. And you think, oh my God, maybe I have it easy right now. Like, this is nothing, right? So you really got to
Yeah.
be thankful for what you got. So at that conference, not only did we meet, and get to do more one-on-one talks, but the coolest thing is we actually met a really cool company where we went to the club at the Wynn Casino, and Marshmallow was playing, and we got to share a booth with, you'll never guess who we got to share a booth with.
Oh man. I don't know, Paris Hilton.
No, it's a company. It's a big company. I'm pretty sure
Oh
it's world.
geez.
Yeah, it is worldwide. It is worldwide. Worldwide. Sorry.
I'm sure I'll know. I'm just blanking. Can't guess. I'm bad at these games.
All the owners of Louis Vuitton.
Really?
Yeah, it
Oh
was sick.
wow. Just hanging
Just
out.
a chance to see that. What's mind blowing to me is when they got their bill for like 400K or 500K that night, they don't give a shit. Right? Like, to me, it's like, hey, hang on. I'm hustling my absolute ass off to make like 40, 50 G's before tax.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, yeah, no problem. I'll probably just on the card. And it's like 400, 500 G's. Like, I know people who probably won't even make that their entire life.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
Wild.
the guys like
They're
putting
spending
my
that in
money.
an evening.
Yeah.
Gee, man. It's gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah. So it's crazy. When you have an idea and you love doing it, just keep going and you can be as successful as you want to be.
That's cool. That's really cool. Nice. Did you like want to ask you that because that'll pair well with this question. I found a lot of people give up pretty easy in the beginning part of like starting anything new and starting anything because you have that initial momentum when you first start something, right? You know what I'm talking about? You better than
Mm-hmm.
most, sure. Where it's like it could be a business, speaking, it could be any engagement you do, podcast. Here we are. And that initial beginning, you do something, people are like, oh, this is new, something you're doing. But then so the first 3 or 4 episodes, people are like, oh, this is cool. I want to get on. Oh my God, nice, cool. You're doing that. But then episode 30 to 60, it's like, well, what do we do here?
Yeah.
It's like, do we have to keep going? We have to keep going. Well, okay, well, people have kind of stopped. I'm getting more people interested, but less people seem interested, or is that just I'm looking at it differently because it's less engagement, but or less views, but more engagement? If that makes sense, is like I'm getting more responses
Yeah.
to things, but less people, less views on videos or downloads, but a lot of downloads at the beginning, but the retention of the audience wasn't as much. So it's like, what analytics are we looking at? Which is probably not a good thing to look at, but we have to learn from something, right? We need that feedback. So with
Right.
that being said, how do you stay? And I don't like the term motivation or motivated because I think it kind of like it's made up. I think it's like a lazy word. It's a word for lazy people to like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm not motivated. It's like, no, you're just lazy,
Really,
right?
100%.
How do you persist in that time of, let's say that initial momentum is gone? How do you persist when there are tough days, tough weeks, and even bad like months, and you're like, oh man, like maybe revenue and like there's a bit of stress, you might not be sleeping, and then all those like bad things start to pair together, and then they start to weigh on you, and they start to beat you down. How do you persist through that?
I find the first thing you got to do is if we're really stressed and it's not working out, just take a break. Whether it's a day break or whether it's an hour or 2 hours, depending on what exactly it is. Sometimes just a quick little break can clear your brain, get you a fresh start. Because when you go back to it, you'd be mind blown at what maybe more ideas can come your way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, I remember one time I'm gonna keep going back to my ball camp because it's
Oh,
the most
please.
recent. But
Yeah.
I had one where, because you said you lose viewers every now and then. You got to think, and also, so after the break, you got to realize, okay, what can I do to keep people coming back? Essentially like an
Mm-hmm.
everyday. It's like, what can I do to keep these people coming back? What makes them more motivated to want to pick my camp and not, let's say, the other camp or
Yeah.
whichever it is. Because that break will allow your brain to take a minute to either to have a snack, take a drink, whatever.
Yeah, go for a walk or something.
Sometimes that's right. And sometimes if that doesn't work, what I do is I simply do something that I enjoy doing. Take my complete mind off things, essentially have a self-esteem break. There's a few things I would say that I do, but it's for me and everyone's different. Everyone would say, "Oh my God, that's crazy!" Or, "I can't believe you just said that." But what everyone's got things that they enjoy doing in life. So I say just take a minute and do it, because if you keep pounding, 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 sometimes you'll make more and more mistakes. So
Mm.
sometimes it's easier to take a step back, think, hey, what if I did this? Okay, do I need to do this? What if I did both? Boom, here we go. Now we found something. Let's get back on that train. So that's pretty much how I, and that's also
Interesting.
how I coach too.
Interesting. Okay. I like that. I think that's a good example of something that's like, oh, you can just kind of here's a solution to your problem. It's like get away from it. Don't double like
Yeah,
get away from the stimulation or the distraction or the comparison. And it kind of what you said kind of like is also similar to what I do, where I'll take a break, but it's not really a break from doing the work itself. It's a break from like I'll turn off Instagram, like
yeah.
uninstall the app. And then the only way I have access to Instagram at all is through my podcast account through my computer, which
Okay,
is
right. So
like,
you have to go through. Yes, I
yeah.
like.
So you actually can't really like share stories on it. And like, there's a lot of things that the desktop version of Instagram can't do. So it's like the browse feed sucks.
Right,
It's pixelated. It's not great. Excuse me. And it's not as easy to access because I have to log in. And then every time it logs me out by design. So right? So I'll do that and then I'll double down on like what I have to do, or I'll just go and like drive somewhere with the windows down and then go and then just go for a walk somewhere that I haven't really been in a while or a neighborhood I haven't been just to kind of like change the environment. And then I can go back because we travel. That's why I like traveling a lot, is like you go and you change your perspective, right? And you come back with
right,
a fresh one. You don't have to fly to, we'll use your earlier example for location, Dubai, and come back to know that like, oh, I'm stressing out. I can fix this problem. It's like you had the solution all along. You don't
yeah,
change, or you change, but you change through like going to that environment and taking away a perspective. So then it's just a matter of like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go to a neighborhood that I don't really walk around in a lot. I'll do a couple laps, come back. It's like, well, I changed my environment a bit. My body's responding different ways. Now let's go back and use like hopefully those like the neuros transmitters and everything work a bit more in your favor, and then you can sit down and refocus making those adjustments. So I like that you said that. That was cool.
uh, no, I
That's
completely
cool.
agree. Change your environment up.
Yeah, it's massive. But so with that and with the like staying motivated and stuff like that, like do you have like kind of overarching, like overall message that you've kind of learned, or even, we won't even say that, we'll get to that in a sec, but do you have an overarching like person that you've met in your life, or somebody that's met in your life that's kind of like changed the way you look at things, and that's like the way you've changed has like directly impacted like the business decisions you've made? Let's
Yeah,
focus on just business though.
yeah. Can I give you two? I'll give you two.
Absolutely.
One person that's actually I actually met, and then one person that I've admired my whole life. So I'll start off with the famous person. So this person that I seriously, since I grew up, I said, "Oh my God, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like this guy." Obviously, we all know Kobe Bryant. Everyone says he's a huge fan. Love that guy. What I loved about him the most was, like if you really want something, you just got to keep going. You gotta get it. You gotta go work hard for it. It's not gonna come to you. Like the guy, he explained in one of his interviews, like imagine if you worked out from like 11 to 12, and take a little break, and then
I
you work out
remember
at
this.
4 to 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, twice a day. It's awesome. That's already twice than what the average is doing. But then he's like, well, imagine if you get up at 4 a.m. and then take a break, 8 a.m. and then take a break, 12 p.m. and then take a break. And then now you have like 4 or 5 sessions times what the other people are doing.
Yeah.
Is imagine how much
Better.
bigger
Yeah.
and better you're gonna get. I'm thinking, holy cow, like that. And like he said, you make quantum leaps, as he says, right? Like it's crazy. So
Yeah.
it's just everything the whole Mamba mentality I've seriously taken to heart, and it's just I grind it every single day. Like it's insane. And then the biggest thing right when he retired, he said, in one of his, I think it was, I want to say it was the one interview, but I'm not sure, but he said, and was mind blowing to me, was he says, what industry can I get into? What's the biggest industry I can get into? What's the most money industry I can get into? But then he realized I was asking myself all the wrong questions. And he was like, what do I enjoy doing the most? What do I love doing the most? So then he ended up coaching his daughter's team, which he loved. And he ended up doing a few other little things that ended up making him the money. So again, the big picture long term there is if you love something you do, you're not going to think of it as, oh, I got to get to go to work today. You're going
Yeah.
to get up. You're going to get up and like, oh my God, yeah, I get to coach my kid. Awesome. Sponsor the team, whatever it is you got to do. And then the money's going to come in. Right. So that to me was just huge. Like you can work a great job, $100 an hour, 20, 30, 40, 30 hours a week, whatever it is, but you hate it. Like, for example, me right now, I wake up every day. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I got to go to work. And like today was great because now I get to do this before work. So I was fired up to get up this morning.
Let's
So I'm like,
go.
let's go.
Let's
And then
go.
you got to just find things that you love to do. And I try to tell that to everyone. Like, if you really want to be a doctor and you love that stuff, go for it. Like then
Mhm.
university is fun for you, right? But if you told me, Josh, you have to
Yeah.
be a doctor, you got to go to university right now, I would be like, what the hell,
You're like, I don't
right?
want to be a doctor.
Damn,
Yeah.
no
Amazing.
way. Yeah. So for me, that was a huge motivational slash idol piece for me was him, and I got to see him courtside in Detroit for this last game ever.
No way, dude.
It was sick. I still have a picture. I'll have to send you some of these pictures. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
man. Please.
it
I'm
was
curious.
so cool. It was so cool. And
Jeez.
then I would
That's the
have to
photo
say,
you should have posted when Kobe died, man.
yeah,
That would have been wild. That's
yeah,
sick. Or you just keep that one close to the heart. Either one.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gotta keep. I have a whole Kobe room in my house, so
Mm,
so yeah, that's my
amazing.
stuff. So for a real one, it's tough because I've been able to learn a lot from several good friends of mine, but probably the biggest one was when I went up to college. I met this gentleman named Grady. Uh, Such an awesome dude. And the thing, so growing up, like we all learn things about, different, whether the person's black or, whatever, like you all learn things as you grow up. And this gentleman really changed my view on life and to really not only accept everyone, but also to give everyone a fair chance and not
I
just
like
because
that.
everyone's brains nowadays is wired the second you meet somebody for the first time, you think, oh my God, like this guy has 1,000 tattoos. This guy's got to be a drug dealer, right? Well, no,
Yeah.
1,000 tattoos doesn't mean he's a
Yeah.
drug dealer, right? So we all have, our brain always does that. It's just we're wired to do that. So you got to
It's
remember, oh, wait,
ridiculous.
no, I'm just analyzing him first. Let's meet him. Let's give a chance to know him.
Yeah. We
So after I got
subconsciously profile.
yeah, and I'm really learned to try my best to stay away from that because I mean, it's
Smart.
wired to do it. So then once
Yeah.
you do it, you're like, okay, maybe get this guy. Let's get to know this guy. So sure enough, this guy, taught me so much about the things that he's gone through in his life. And to this day, we were like best friends, and I'm so honored to call him my best friend. And the things that he's going through it's absolutely crazy. But because I sadly can't get into it, it's very personal. But
Mhm.
he just the wow that I get from him every time I talk to him is he's still here. He hasn't given up. I know
Jeez.
several people who would have taken their own life, which is
Wow.
just the worst way to go.
Yeah.
And he just keeps going. He keeps going. He says, Josh, we're going to be fine. We're going to be good.
Good.
Find a
I
way to
like
get
that. Good.
all right.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm wow, if you can go through this, man, what I'm going through is nothing, right?
Yeah.
So like
Perspective.
everyone's got different stories, and you always got to keep that in the back of your head. But you know, today could be I could be having the shittiest day ever, but someone out there's got it a shitload worse, right? Like that's how you got to
Yeah.
look at it. You have to. Yeah, here I'm complaining inside my house, but then at the same time, someone could be homeless that doesn't deserve it, right?
Right.
So it's just that you got to always be thankful for the little things and keep hustling for the bigger things. And for me, my best friend there, Grady, is he's been the biggest inspiration of my life. So shout out to him.
Amazing. Yeah. Shout out to him, man. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Have you, we'll go to something else in a sec that I'm curious about. I want to recommend something to you if you haven't seen it, but I want to do this first. I think what you said just now, it's very, very important because I read about it in one of the books I have that's it's talking about like our problems and it's basically
Right?
we're all going to have them.
Yes.
But the difference between yours and my problems are we can choose if we have better problems than others. We're all going to deal, every person walking God's green earth is going to deal with money issues, like money
Yes.
problems, right? But whose money problems would you rather have? Right? Like you were saying earlier, you're like, oh, okay, like, man, or from earlier you or earlier me, or it's like you're trying to like, oh man, like the roof's gonna cost this much, roof's gonna cost, or like how come there? It's like you're dealing with those money problems, or like I'll deal with like, oh, if I get a ticket that I don't know about and I like maybe I spent a bit more and I should have, and it's like, okay, well now that makes a bit more of a dent. So it's like, okay, well we have these money problems, but I'd rather have my money problems than like you said, that homeless guy who's like
Yeah.
has to rob a liquor store to get change to buy the like opium he's addicted to or the heroin he's addicted to. So stuff like that. And it's
It's
yeah, it's everybody's gonna have problems. It's just the fight that we have to have now with ourselves is like chasing better problems to have.
yes.
It's like I want better problems. I want better problems. I want better problems. It's not I don't want ever to have problems because that's unrealistic. Right.
Right.
That's right.
We
We have
always
to
got
know. Yeah, man, bro. We have to know
always,
what's different. What are we gonna live with? And it's like, hey, you're always gonna have this. It's like I pair that with happiness. I'm like, people are like, I want to just be happy. I'm like, that's not sustainable. Nobody's happy all the time. It's
yeah,
realistic to believe like, oh, I get sad, I get mad, I get frustrated, I get angry. But majority of the time I'm not that. But they're because I know how to put myself around people that don't cause that emotion. Like there's ways to go around it. And it's just I would rather have these problems than those problems, right? So
100%.
have you seen the playbook?
Oh, is that on the Netflix with the different coaches?
Yeah, yeah, bro.
So you have the one from Boston. Don't tell me his name. Oh,
Doc,
come on.
have I was gonna recommend you watch the one with Doc Rivers.
Doctor, thank you. Yep, I've already seen it. The second it came
Yeah,
out, I said, "This looks good." I'm gonna watch.
amazing.
It's
Dude,
wild.
so good.
Even all the
Yeah.
other episodes were fantastic
Yeah,
too.
they
I no
were.
idea tennis was that big, and I guess it is.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? I've only seen I started watching that one. I just have
Yeah,
only seen fully the Doc Rivers one, but I've shown it to Michael, I've shown it to like other friends. I've been like, that's my heavy recommended one.
it's
So,
great.
but I got that one recommended to me on a podcast by a friend of mine, and she recommended it, and I was like, oh, okay. But it was mainly because she was talking about like Ubuntu
Right,
and right, like the way of life and everything, and like we are human, and that being kind of like
huge.
accept it for what it is, and like being able to like just live life and kind of
Yeah,
whatever their like his specific ways. I'm trying to paraphrase, but yeah, I think that's yeah, I was gonna recommend that because I'm like, man, you get a kick out of this. But yeah, I can imagine you enjoyed it.
no, it was great. Well, and the biggest thing I took out from that too was, there. I've been able to talk to a lot of coaches over the years, and the
Yeah,
one I've had a few that tell me, you can never get too close. You can never be their friend, blah blah. But like, I'm like, no, you know what? It's you gotta be their friend because then you gotta understand in order to really help them. You
yeah,
understand what they're. You gotta understand. Okay, yeah, no, this person won't learn that way, so I gotta teach her this way, or
exactly.
with vice versa. So when Doc Rivers said, no, you gotta be like family. You gotta be like in their everyday life because at the end of the day, you're there with them more than you are your own family.
Yeah,
So I mean, you got to get to know them. You got to enjoy being friends with them. Enjoy being like how can I say, essentially like a father figure to them, and that's exactly what
Yeah,
Doc River was in with his team, and he did a
exactly.
fantastic job. So especially with all the BS he went through it with the
Yeah,
Clippers there, with
all the Clippers there and everything.
yeah,
I won't
oh
even
that
say his
was
name, dude.
oh man,
Not
I
even gonna
can't
say his
even believe
name.
that. That is
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
I
like
wouldn't
of
want
all
to
the
be Doc.
things.
I wouldn't want to be Doc Rivers, man, in that situation.
No,
What
but
did he do?
see,
What did he say? Right? Like
better problems.
that's right.
So it's like, ooh, it's like he still has to face stuff like that. He
Oh yeah,
faces bigger problems, but he's got like a bigger responsibility. He's in the media. Like that's kind of like it comes with the territory, right?
yeah,
But
hands
man,
down.
wild. So yeah, if nobody's seen it, watch the playbook. It's phenomenal. It comes recommended by my buddy Josh here, myself, and other people. It's yeah,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. But with that, I'm curious. Kind of to close a bit, do you have anything that you learned that stood out and that maybe you learned it in your earlier years that you've seen kind of stand the test of time throughout your life?
You know what? In the world that we live in now, like, my parents always raised me to respect everyone no matter what.
Yes.
And I did my absolute best doing that as I grew up. But then we live in a world now where people will take advantage of you for everything.
Yeah.
And I guess to really close this off for me, the biggest thing I've learned in life is I took a lot of what my parents, what my family has taught me. But then when I went away to college, I really learned a lot of things. And the biggest thing was people will pretend to be your friend, pretend that they'll be fake, and they'll steal your idea or they'll steal your say, oh no, I did the whole
Jeez.
project and you didn't. So, I'm a big believer in this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of love and hate for saying this, but I'm just going to say it. I say this always. This is my motto now. You respect those who respect you. You give back to those who give to you, and
Amazing.
you fuck those who try to fuck with you because you
That's
don't want advantage of. Simple as that.
it. That's it.
Because at the end of the day, if you let everyone walk all over you, they're going to keep doing it, and then they're going to drag you through the mud. And to me, I've seen good people get dragged through the mud, and they don't deserve it.
No, but I like that you said you made something very clear at the beginning. I want to touch on that. You said if you let people,
Yes,
it's on you. Don't let
exactly.
them.
Don't let them.
No, that's
Exactly.
why you said it when you're like, you don't let them. I was like, you're damn right, you don't let them. I like that, dude. Hell
Amen.
yeah. That's awesome. So where right now, what I'll do is for you, dude, I'll roll out the red carpet. Where can people find you? Where can people connect with you? Where can people hear more from you and stuff like that? So
For
now's
sure.
your give it a shout out.
You can find me on Instagram on Joshua Rocker 25. I have a TikTok account as well. It's Joshua Rocker. I have my own volleyball TikTok account as well called Level Up Volleyball.
Nice.
And me and my sister's brand, our company right now, we're currently rebranding. We're going to be hopefully getting a website out hopefully before Christmas.
Sweet.
Once everything's settled, the store will be out live for not only merch but incredible products that are
Let
coming
me
our
know
way.
when you do. I'll put that in. I'll update the links. I'll put
Fantastic.
those, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you all so much for having me. And thank you, Glenn, for having me, man. This has been an awesome journey. I'm sure we'll be on again soon and talking about how you can retire before the age of 30.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm super stoked to have met you and been introduced to you this week and today. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for doing the show. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, I look forward to chatting with you again some more and making another episode in the future when you've done when you've achieved it, you know?
Absolutely, brother. And all the best for you too. You're going to
Right
kill it.
on.